What's up, beautiful? It's Lisa Roulette, and in this video, we're going to talk about karma, what it is, what it's not, and how to work with it on your evolutionary path. Quick announcement. I know I've had so many of these recently. I'm moving the Healers podcast, which is dedicated to helping healers and spiritual business owners create sustainable businesses that are built to scale, to another channel, because I just feel like all of the people that have subscribed to this channel for strictly awakening, ascension, and astrology need to be honored. So thank you again for your patience. Don't forget to subscribe to the Cosmic Chronicle, our new weekly newsletter that's coming out on June 12th. Very excited about this. We're going to be collaborating with a lot of creators and a lot of wisdom keepers throughout the world. So that subscription is in the description of this video below, and it's completely free. So I hope you enjoy it. Without further ado, let's talk about karma, what it is and what it's not. So karma, as you probably already know or you've heard, is just cause and effect. It is the law of attraction, really, right? It is what you put out always comes back. Now, the question is, well, I put out a lot of good stuff. Why do I always get back this bad stuff? Well, karma doesn't know space and time. It keeps a record in the Akash of every single lifetime you have ever lived, past, present, future, parallel, you name it. Now, when we talk about past, present, future, parallel lifetimes, the truth is all lifetimes are parallel, because beyond the third dimensional earthly realm, there really is no time. So all things are happening simultaneously, and all of what you are as consciousness is recorded energetically in what we call the Akashic records. So it's like the keeper of time, so to speak, in that it records every single action, every single thought, every single intention, every single relationship, every single deed, every single everything. And the way it records it is through an energetic signature, because everything that you are as consciousness, whether it's in this lifetime or future lifetime, past lifetime or parallel lifetime, is just energy. Okay, so you are walking around as a big energetic signature, scripting your life story in this time space reality, but you're also scripting your karmic record. Okay, so some people feel as though they are doing good all the time, but they're getting back bad all the time. And that is probably because in your consciousness body, beyond space and time, are things that maybe you did in another time that is bringing on hardship. So it's in our best interest to understand karma, but we don't necessarily have to go back to past lives to get that karma. And I sort of waver between whether or not going back to past lives is a good thing or a bad thing, because the truth is that the events of past lifetimes and the roles that you played are not really important. And sometimes through, say, past life regression, we can get hung up on the who and the what of the past lifetime. So we might get hung up that we were a princess or a pirate, and all of the things that we did was being the what in that lifetime, trying to understand our karma. But really, understanding karma in that way is in some way counterproductive. The way we want to understand karma is through the Ascension, right? So people will talk about good karma and bad karma, but the truth is there's not really good karma or bad karma. It is just energy that you put out into the Akash or into the quantum field on any timeline that is either contracting or expanding. Okay, so the contracting energy would be oftentimes known as bad karma. The expanding energy is what is known as good karma. Now, we contract when we hold on to and sustain low vibrational frequencies that drive us to behave from places like grief, anger, remorse, regret, shame, and so on. We start to imprint the Akash with higher frequencies or expansive energy when we become extremely courageous and reasonable to explore our consciousness beyond the earthly realm and understand that we are a direct extension of one source consciousness, which many of you call God. right? So when we are expanding our consciousness, we are embodying higher frequencies in the consciousness body. And when we expand, we also push the consciousness container upward and outward. And when we push the consciousness container upward and outward, we start to perceive the indefinite, intricate, infinite, interconnected nature of reality. Right? And so when we start to see that interconnection, we start to get closer and closer to the idea of oneness. Okay. And when we act on behalf of the one, understanding that all of our thoughts, actions, intentions, deeds, behaviors are energetic in nature, and they are imprinting the source field, which is the Akash, right? When we understand that, we start to act with higher virtues, and we start to do things like forgive much faster. We start to embody compassion, and we start to understand the nature of giving and receiving. Okay, because if you've ever taken my class on manifestation, you know that everything manifests in an infinite loop of creation. And so this is all happening at all levels on all timelines. We are putting out, getting back, putting out, getting back. This is cause and effect. This is the law of attraction. Okay, so anytime we start to put out at an expanded level of consciousness or an expanded level of awareness, we start to consider how that output is ultimately shaping the source field, the Akash. It's shaping our reality. And so every single one of us realizes that we are co-creators shaping our reality. And the more and more of us who wake up to this and act from a higher vibration, act from a higher level of awareness that we are truly one, we start to heal karma on a global level. Okay, because we start to act in a very virtuous manner, and we start to understand that everything we do, from the thoughts that we hold to the actions that we take to the intentions that we set forth, truly affect the entire fabric of our reality. So again, it's not about good karma and bad karma. It's more about whether or not you're holding on to low vibrational frequencies that keep you in a contracted awareness, separating you from the one God source, or whether or not you're holding on to higher vibrational frequencies that are expanding you back to the one God source. So I don't want you to judge karma so much, because it doesn't really help on the evolutionary path. Now, questions to ask yourself about whether or not your karma is more contracted, those frequencies that are in the Akash, that are essentially part of your vast consciousness, or they are expanding, is truly whether or not you are living in fear or you're living closer to love, right? Now, there's nothing wrong. Again, we're not supposed to judge it. There's nothing wrong with living in fear. The universe is a very neutral place. It will allow you to live as you choose. But in terms of our ascension and our awakening and our soul's evolutionary path, it does serve us very well from a karmic perspective to choose love more frequently. Now, this isn't always just okay, you know what, I'm all about vibing high. We do have to understand the lower frequencies that we hold in order to transcend them permanently. So I'm not suggesting that you ignore all those low frequencies and just decide to be in an expansive state at all times, because that will backfire on you. You have to go through the healing journey in order to sustain those higher frequencies that keep you in the expansive state. So it's not a choice to flip a switch, but it is an intention to say, now I understand that holding on to those lower frequencies, which are demonstrated by fear, remorse, regret, shame, anger, judgment, non-forgiveness, non-compassion, separation, all of those things karmically are going to cause your consciousness body as an individuated part of source consciousness to contract, right? So you want to say, why am I here? Okay, why am I holding on to grief, remorse, regret, shame, anger, all of those things? Why am I holding on to it? What keeps me tied to those feelings? And that's how you're going to start your healing journey, by saying, okay, well, am I actually committed to these feelings, or am I committed to the healing journey so that I can permanently transcend those feelings and ultimately ascend into higher levels of consciousness where I am expanding back to the one, okay? So just ask yourself intelligent questions. You really don't have to go through a big past life regression. You don't have to try to read the Akashic records, although I'm not discouraging those things. I'm just saying, if you want to know your karma, it's really more about asking yourself how I feel, because your feelings are the biochemical feedback of your vibration, and your vibration is indicative of whether or not your consciousness is contracting or your consciousness is expanding. And again, when your consciousness is contracted, you are creating increasingly more challenging karma, right? Because it gets easier going the other way. And when your consciousness is expanding, you're creating significantly easier karma, okay? That's a wrap for this video, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the Cosmic Chronicle, which is below, and I will link also the new channel for the Healers Podcast. If you are a healer or spiritual business owner, never forget that you are loved.